What's up, Ringiverse? Steve Ahlman here, back with some more San Diego Comic-Con goodies for you all. We had a great time down in San Diego, and I actually had the privilege to work with Adult Swim to do their My Adventures with Superman panel and moderate for them. And afterwards, we had a great talk on the Ringiverse with the full cast. That's Superman, Jack Quaid, Kiana Madeira, Kara Zor-El, the entire cast. We had a wonderful time kind of talking about the intricacies of what it is like to do a vocal performance for a show like this. And me and Jomi have been big advocates of this show from back in the Mint Edition days. And it's been a great, great time to get to see this show and look up how successful this third season is going to be. And then after that, we got to talk to some of the showrunners, and we've had a wonderful time kind of figuring out what it's like to get a show like this made after 3 seasons, a little bit of the politics about what it takes to get a show renewed, and some of the great ideas that they still have in the hopper for new and exciting shows. So enjoy these interviews, and we look forward to seeing you again. This episode of The Ringiverse is presented by Searchlight Pictures. More than ever, America needs a laugh. Enter Super Troopers to the rescue. The cult comedy classic returns with the most offensive installment yet, with Super Troopers 3. A debaucherous bachelor party, an over-the-top wedding, and a dangerous drug smuggling ring all threaten the troops' future. Fill your liter of cola and roll up to the multiplex for Super Troopers 3. Meow playing only in theaters. Get tickets. Meow. Hello, I'm with the full cast of My Adventures with Superman.
Oh man,
everybody's here. We're arguing about the fact that Dungeons and Dragons should be D-A-N-D.
listen, I'm going to rescind this point. I think I'm just going to get in too much trouble.
Is this
with my
too
nerdy
hot for
friends.
you? I don't want to be too political at the start.
This is too much of a hot take for me to a hill to die on. So I'm gonna take that back. It's D-N-D.
D&D's great.
N for
Okay,
Dungeons
great.
and Dragons.
Well, we just came back from your guys' panel at Comic-Con. That room was huge. I loved being in it, but we just saw the latest episode 8. How are you guys feeling about that? That was kind of like, that might have been one of the most consequential episodes yet.
Yeah.
To you guys, what's been like your most exciting part of this season so far?
Well, can I just say, first of all, like we recorded this season so long ago, and
really?
But to the point where at least I've forgotten so much of what's happened in the show just because we recorded it forever ago. And so it's really fun, actually, though, to watch the show now just as a genuine fan and be like, oh my god, that happens! Like it was great, and that was my first time watching that episode was in the hall with all you guys. So I thought it's super consequential and super insane. But I don't know. I love the show, and I keep being blown away by, I know kind of more or less how I recorded stuff, but like the animation and like what you guys are doing is unbelievable. Like it's so cool to just genuinely be a fan of the show while I watch it.
So you mentioned before, like, I'm curious, how often do you guys like actually get in the room together?
Never.
Never.
Like
really?
Occasionally, like I'll see them in passing.
Really?
As when they finish or when one of them finishes and I have to go in and record, it's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, you moved to LA. It's like really like
And we
quick.
don't hear each other's either.
No, we hear Jake.
Sometimes filling in some lines.
He's gonna hate that we brought this up, but it is the best watching him do like
It's the
scratch
best.
track, like, temporary
That's so funny.
line readings for us before they can get us in.
Yeah.
And it'll just be so clearly Jake's voice.
So can you guys rate Jake's performance vocally? Like, would he be
Based off the
perfect cast
character,
member?
I really do love his Lois. I really do love
I don't know
Jake's
if I've heard
Lois.
his Lois.
I
pretty
mean,
great.
10 out of 10 for effort.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, he
always.
gives his whole heart. in
Even
everything.
emotionally, I feel like it's not bad at all, actually.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was really taken aback because the final question that we had on this panel, an adorable little girl came up and she wanted to have advice given to her for being a voice actor. And I thought about being a voice actor before, but then I realized that it's like capital A acting very much still. And I was like, that's not for me. But in the vocal performances that you guys have, like, what's been like the most challenging part of both this season or any season? Like, have you strained yourself? Has it really been like, I can't really get a handle on something?
I don't know. For me, it's really remembering how Jimmy sounds because I have a naturally deep voice. And so I have to remember like, oh, I got to pitch my voice up. It's like trying to get in that range. But I think for this season, the emotional part because of the will they, won't they arc of it, it's interesting just tapping into that. And it's like when I watch it, it's like, oh, this is like a love story. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's very surreal watching like these essentially cartoon characters be so emotional in a good way and like trying to like convey their affection for one another. So it's interesting seeing it all come together in totality.
Yeah. Jimmy's had a very interesting arc for me to see. And I've been very curious, like if you ever saw anything on the page when you're in that booth and you're like, I don't know if we're gonna be like landing this plane with Jimmy, because he's been making a couple of wild decisions.
No, he's taking big swings.
Big swings.
Yeah, big swings. But everything, you know, it's like he's one of those guys where it's like, okay, we're just gonna throw paint at the wall and see what happens. And almost 9 times out of 10, it turns out to look like a Picasso. So, you know, a Picasso in his own artistic way. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So.
I love Lois's awareness of like how Jimmy may be fumbling in the moment. Like Lois gives like such like last straw energy with him. You're just like, what do you mean you're doing that? Like, what do you mean? You know? And I love that. Like, it's so real.
It's like a big sister.
It's, exactly. It's so real.
And she thinks she knows better.
Yeah.
Because she's been in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So I've loved your performances, Cara, by the way. Like
Thank
it's really like I talked about
Amazing.
like her unbridled enthusiasm when she's like kind of let loose and gotten to enjoy Earth. And I've been curious, like, of the things that you've experienced in your own life, like how do you like channel that much energy? Because like I could hear it in the performance. Like what do you get like to like work yourself up for that level of energy?
That's a great question. I feel like honestly, so much of it is the adrenaline of like doing voice acting in general for me. It's my first animation job.
What?
Yeah.
It's hers too.
It's mine.
It's yours
Yeah,
too?
mine.
You guys are all so good at this.
Thank
How is
you.
this your first time? Oh my God, I'm flabbergasted. Well done, all of you. Sorry.
Thank you. So I think it's that, like every time I get the email where they're like recording session, I'm like, woo, I like hype myself up. So I'm like, I think just the collaboration, also Jake and Brendan and everyone else that's there with us. We have an amazing vocal like director that we work with too. And I think it's just working with them. Like they make this space so warm. They really just give us a space to like try things, and we do different takes and variations and levels. But for me, I'm like, Cara is so like wide-eyed and like has, like I said earlier in the panel, this like childlike joy that I feel like I have in my natural life too. So just really leaning into that and like not being afraid to show her vulnerable side. And like also I love like voice acting because you don't have to care at all what you look like. So
Right.
there's also a certain level of like zoning in vocally that you can do because you don't care about anything else. You can put all your energy into that.
So who's pulling up in sweatpants and just a coffee with a hoodie up and like not really?
All of
yeah.
All the- okay,
I
great.
assume.
I'm wearing heels. I'm joking. Imagine no.
It's a giant perk of the job.
Yeah.
It's like it's just rolling up, being like, "Hey, what are we doing today?" All right. But yeah, the energy spent, especially, I mean, for all of us, because like all these characters have moments of like manic energy. But like I feel like the Kryptonian fights,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that's a lot of screaming.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
guys
lot.
Scream a
That's
lot.
a lot of like efforts and
Yep.
like punching and getting punched and all that. That was like that really surprised. That was different than any other voiceover job I've ever done. It's just the sheer. I mean, I usually play characters that are like fleeing from a fight.
Yeah.
So this was very different to be like all that stuff is that's a lot. But Jake and Brendan and everyone, they make it so nice and so fun, and like they are so enthusiastic about this thing that they're making. Let me just say it too. Give them all the shows. I want to see my adventures with everyone. Right. As long as it's those guys and you know people like Karen, like everyone behind the scenes, because they care so much and they're putting their own original spin on everything, and their enthusiasm is so contagious when you're in the booth.
Now has Jake or anybody been like letting slip like, okay, well, if they like this, then they're going to really like what like the next thing that we got cooking up, because we got My Adventures with Green Lantern coming up soon. And have you guys been hearing a little bit about that? Has there been like maybe you need to be coming in for something different?
Not me.
Okay,
Anyone?
if there was anything to know, definitely not going to tell us.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely not
We
going to tell
don't
the
know.
actors.
It's above our pay grade.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very fair. I'm going to prod them later. So,
But I am like so unbelievably happy for them,
Yeah.
like to not only be able to do this show, but to like then have like a spinoff and try to do what they do for a whole different character, and it's a different. I'm not very well versed in anime, but Jake in an earlier interview today was trying to, what was it? It's shoujo as opposed to this is the shonen.
Oh yes, yeah.
Tell me if that sounds vaguely correct.
Yeah, but I also did not know what that meant.
I didn't either, but I love that they do, and I love that they are just so.
Chuck in the back is absolutely like holding himself in right now.
Oh no,
he's
please.
like this is my absolute.
Is what I just said horrible or wrong?
Oh, you got it pretty correct.
Okay, cool. Pretty correct.
Shonen is boys, like boy action, like Dragon Ball Z. Shoujo is romance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So lots of shoujo this season.
Oh yeah.
I would say there is some shoujo
And some show.
in our shonen.
Yeah.
Shonen.
Is there a quality? Sorry, I'm just asking someone off camera.
No, please.
This is going to be great for everyone watching.
Just as
And he's not
informal as
mic'd
we're used
either.
to.
But I need to know, shonen, is there like a part of that which is all about like leveling up or something? Because I know that people talk about that when it comes to Clark.
Saiyan.
Yeah, going Super Saiyan. Yes.
Yeah, that's Shonen boys manga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Naruto, Bleach, all those.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
I'm learning so
We're learning
much.
Yeah.
Listen,
So
that's what we offer here. Well, I'll close it out by saying, like, what's something that you are probably looking forward to the most with the audience seeing by the end of this season? Again, I know that we can't spoil that much, but is there a performance that you gave? Is there a moment that you took from this final episode that you're just like, wow, we really did something different?
I don't remember. You guys. I don't.
It was so long ago. I know. Sorry.
It really was all you guys.
Well, like you get to see them earlier, at least for most of the time, because I saw you guys watching the episode just backstage when we were. Back
Yeah.
was that your first time?
Yeah, that was our first time.
No, I mean,
Wow.
that's why we were being
You
so
were
loud. We were
absolutely
like,
locked
oh,
in.
no way.
Yeah.
Because I was called into like do this entrance, and then all the stagehands were just like, "Guys, you need to come on." And they're like, "No, we're watching."
Yeah.
We're watching the show.
Yeah, it was our first time watching it. That's why.
Yeah.
I do remember one episode. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh God. Okay. I do remember recording one episode. It's the next episode, episode 9. I have not seen it yet, but I remember going in for that one and being like, "This one's very cool," and this one's very cool, and I'm really looking forward to people seeing that one. I can't say anything else, but it's maybe I think it was my favorite episode to record this season.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can wrap it there. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we're looking forward to seeing the rest of the episodes.
Thank you.
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
guys. Thanks, guys, for coming on. We just came back from an amazing panel. Thank you guys so much for doing it. My Adventures with Superman. This show rocks.
Yeah.
Both Jomi and I have like really been fans of it since season 1.
From the jump.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, fellas.
I've been curious now that season 3 is kind of starting to wind down. We've got a couple more episodes to go. What are you most excited for people to see?
I'm excited to see, for you all to see, like what happens with Supergirl, especially to the end of the season. I feel like, we all know, if we all know what happened in episode 5, that really gives Supergirl an opportunity to sort of be her own and grow into a way that's like self-actualizing by the end of the season, which I think is awesome. If we get another season of the show, we'll totally capitalize on.
I'm excited. We're gonna dig into Krypton again.
Okay.
We're having Clark go back to the source in an attempt to help his family. It's gonna go horribly wrong. He's gonna suffer greatly, and I'm really excited about that. Krypton has been really fun for us to play with, and it's been interesting watching the way that James Gunn's DC universe also plays with like the mythos of Krypton and whether Jor-El is like innately good and because we both started with a spin on like the VHS tape that Clark gets from his parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, my son, you are from Krypton, you have a mission. And the Gunn film did such a different take on that.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to go back to Krypton and reckon. I love that place. And we're digging into some other genres that are near and dear to our heart when we go there.
Awesome. You mentioned Supergirl. Now, like at the end of last season, it was a little like Jimmy Supergirl, what? And at the beginning of this season, y'all say, actually, we're going to make people wait for that. That's not coming. People have been killing Jimmy online for weeks.
Poor guy's getting dragged.
He's getting dragged. When you guys, in the writers' room for season 3, what was the decision process to be like, hey, we're not going to give you guys Jimmy and Supergirl right off the bat. We're going to make you guys wait for that relationship to come together.
Do you want to tell him?
You don't want it off the bat.
Oh, you're just like you're just straight up not ready for that heat.
Yeah, you're not. But also, I think Jake actually had a really good pitch for the, like he sold it to me over some dim sum one day. And I'm going to let you speak to that right now.
So Clark and Lois, that relationship is sacred, right? They are pop culture icons. They're this like important romantic relationship in our media history and cultural zeitgeist. Jimmy and Kara is not sacred. So we had to be very careful and tread very carefully with Clark and Lois. You can only go so far with the tension in that relationship, or it becomes unpleasant and not fun to watch, not fun to make.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen Ranma? Ranma
1.5.
Yeah.
Wow. Ranma 1.5.
So what I like about Ranma is it's like, what if the Looney Tunes all wanted to kiss each other, but they were too busy like hitting each other with animals and dynamite to kiss. And we're like, it's not so much romantic comedy as it is like sexual chaos, right? It's
romantic chaos.
Romantic chaos, right? So we wanted to play with that with Jimmy and Kara. And I also, so do you have the friend who's like really good at giving advice and then really bad at taking it and making decisions?
Absolutely.
That's James Olsen. And for 2 seasons, he looked so wise. Telling Clark and Lois about their emotions and how they feel. And he's still wise. He can tell Kara how he feels, but he can't tell Kara how he feels. Of course not. So, I wanted to get him. He'd been too wise. He'd been too wise for too long.
And like, if we give it to you right away, well, we don't have a lot to write to. So,
Of course.
It's a TV show. We gotta space this stuff out over time.
And then some of it's vicarious. Brendan had been dating again.
Really?
Yeah, and I met my wonderful partner Elizabeth
Oh,
on the app.
Shout out to Elizabeth.
Shout out Elizabeth.
Been together for 3 years. It worked out.
But the run up to Elizabeth was like, buddy, it's changed out there.
Brother, who are you telling?
Right.
The streets is bad.
And we were both like, we should do that to Jimmy. We should do that to Jimmy.
Like writing Jimmy this season was just me reliving one of the worst chapters of my life. So I just why stop now?
No, that's because that's amazing. Like all of those things that writers pull upon in their own personal lives and in the pop culture references that they love. You guys are kind of stewards of this kind of sacred thing of like DC characters. They've been around for decades upon decades. And there's like an instinct to kind of like treat them like little baby birds, but also you want to really play with them and make them malleable. Like, were you ever afraid to go too far?
I mean, you know, we still have to make something to put on TV for things that parents could watch with their kids and our generation. But yeah, I feel insofar as taking things too far, that's more of a, eventually we'll get there, right?
You're not worried about taking things too far with Jimmy Olsen. So part of what we love about him and why we were so adamant about like having him on the show from pitch, part of our original series pitch before we were greenlit was this comic book cover, which is, I believe, the planet of doomed Olsens. It's Superman dropping Jimmy off on a planet that's full of all the other screw-up Jimmys. Like, one's a turtle, one's the porcupine guy, one's the wolfman. And he's like, sorry, Jimmy, this is what you deserve. Like, you screwed up too many times. So Jimmy's always been this kind of like cosmic punching bag. So no, we're never careful with Jimmy Olsen. Like, that's what he's for, man.
Right. I read 100 issues of that Jimmy Olsen comic.
Really?
The Silver Age stuff.
Like a lot of it. And then you can do anything to him.
Okay.
It's like, if we're pulling from inspiration.
I will say, man, the Jimmy Flamebird call that happens every time he says it, and then the running gag for season 2 when he had the money. And I love those. So I love what you guys are doing with Jimmy. But I mean, you mentioned it. Like, you guys have so many influences.
Yeah.
In the previous interview, we were talking about like shonen and shoujo animes and all that stuff. But in episode 4 at the end and through episode 5, there's a level of there's Terminator.
Yeah.
You know, so when you guys are like sitting there working, like, what are the influences that you guys think through when you're making this show? Because it's this full of anime. There's so many stuff. I'm like, I recognize that from here. Sailor Moon. There's this. Like, what's the thought process behind like I watched this movie, I watched this show. How do I now put that into my Superman animated TV show?
I mean, for my part, it's when you're creating a thing, you really pull from like what you know and what you love. And Superman is such a great palette of like, oh, we're doing superhero stuff. It's an anime inspired version that was part of like what we pitched. And so of course, when we're writing the thing, I'm just reliving my Toonami years, right? A little bit. It lets me go. It's sort of like the best way to go back and nostalgia dive yourself is to like make that your job a little. So it's kind of like being a kid again every day at work. That's why for me.
And part of the fun is, so like, pop culture happens kind of in echoes and clusters. So you can look at the original Terminator in T2. So you look at T2 particularly, and you can see how Cyborg Superman comes out of that, right? Like just dead ass, that's a Terminator, right? You can look at how Trunks is modeled on teenage John Connor. They got the same hair, they've got the same jacket, they both come back, like they're both time travel adjacent, like that's 1-to-1. And so those were two things that were connected by a node that we wanted to kind of like pull all back into each other. And then remix. The way we talk about it is we're not trying to cover songs, we're sampling them, right? Like we're trying to find good samples. We're trying to find ways to remix and make this stuff new. So one of the ways that you make a thing new is you look back at its influences and say, okay, what would I do with that?
Into the whole like John and time travel and the Trunks thing of it all, you know, if you look at like when Toriyama was writing those comics and like what Hollywood was doing, it's the same kind of song and dance of like, oh, Terminator came out, like Jake said. And then you get, you know, the Android saga soon after that.
Which is distinct from Terminator. Which is great.
But not just him. You also look at Sailor Moon. Terminator comes out. Then you get Chibiusa. Like, so it's this fun, like little history dance you can do with media and see like what influences what and what it creates from that.
And adapting Death of Superman meant adapting all of its influences. And then some of the things that it echoed out from that and then trying to bring them home. And we said this on the San Diego panel, but like bringing them home to our characters and what will challenge them. Because ultimately you're still writing for your main cast. So you're writing John at Clark and Lois and Kara, right? You're writing Kara at Jimmy and Jimmy at Kara.
Right.
And so you're trying to be true to their personalities, but you're trying to cause trouble.
Drama, theme, and conflict. And they all have to be like unified. And, you know, John was the perfect character because he's their son.
He was the weapon we needed.
If it was Connor, that's Lex and Clark's son, different story, right? Which we haven't done that yet. So, you know.
We like keep that on the table.
Anyway,
that's why we mucked around a lot.
Well, speaking of keeping things on the table, like we talked a little bit beforehand, and I don't want to like get too in the nitty-gritty of like the politics of getting shows made or anything, but I'm very, very curious because again, we don't have any official word on season 4, but the things that go into pitching and influencing the powers that be to make a season 4 happen. What do you guys consider, and what are the things that you want to like kind of really expand on in a 4th season that actually get those people's attention and hopefully get a 4th season?
That's a really good question. So the first creative pitch anyway for 4 got turned in with 3. Like we handed those in to Gunn and Safran.
One document.
And the title for the first one, the season 3 one sheet was "Oops, All Superboys."
Okay.
I don't want to give you the title for the 4th one.
No Gives a little too much away.
Yeah, no spoilers.
But it comes out of the character conflicts in 3, right? And those.
Oh no, Superboys.
The road to Superboy.
It's a little more Lois and Clark focused. Right. Like once the season finale of this show airs and you see it, that would be our jumping off point. There's a very specific thing that happens in the very last scene of the season, which I don't want to spoil, but like when you see it, it's like we're going from that to the next thing.
Now, but like, what differentiates that from just say a mind-numbing cliffhanger that nobody's gonna be happy about versus okay, we've tied up this story, and now we have something different.
It's about phases of life versus like next dramatic conflict.
Okay,
so we end. So just to give a little taste of the beat. It's not like, oh no, a meteorite's coming at Earth now. What do we do, Superman? It's more like their life is moving to this stage.
We see what's next for our characters and we see where they're headed. And then we will get from one of our villains, we'll get an intimation of things to come. We'll basically learn why some of our villains did what they did, right? We'll get into their motivations and what they saw and what they know that our characters don't. So every time we end a season and don't have a new one, we're always trying to wrap up in a way that leaves the door open. But like you said, if this is what we get, we want our audience to have a satisfying ending, and then they can imagine what happens next. Right. And if not, we get to imagine what happens next.
Yes.
There you go.
And the end of the season, we do hint at. There's a reason why Lex has been like this all season. And if we get a season 4, you get to find out.
We'll get into it. And then to answer the political side of the question, so we work in a fast-paced, dynamic environment here in entertainment right now. So you're hoping that your audience is teaching your employer that making more of your show is a good idea, right? That like they'll get a return. In an uncertain world, there's a high probability of return on that, right? And our audience has been so great to us. We are so lucky. They've really shown up for us every season. They've shown up on cable for us every season. It was like a lot to ask
On
of people.
cable?
On cable.
In 2026?
Terrestrial?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
On this planet.
On this planet.
James Gunn, you listening? That's crazy.
So they've been really great. They're turning up in bigger numbers with every episode. So I don't know though, like what makes sense for our parent company and or prospective parent companies.
Sure.
In such a fast-paced, dynamic environment.
Right.
But you want to make it look like a sure thing. Like
Right.
this is a good investment that has a high probability of return.
Yeah, the way I see how the media, like the Hollywood industry works is, we have our country which has laws voted on by the people, but inside the walls of these businesses, these corporations and these WBs and whatnot, it's kingdoms. And we run by the Game of Thrones. So it's sort of like we are, we're beholden to who our masters are, and we are like knights. And if we're granted a serfdom, which is Superman, we get to play in there. And so we're sort of like at the edge of like our tenure being the knights of it. So if they award it to us again, we will be able to
wouldn't say
continue.
knights. I wouldn't say knights. I'd say lords.
Dude,
You guys a castle,
a
right?
small duchy, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the crew to hear you say, what did you say, serfdom?
Serfdom. Yeah.
Listen, James Gunn is the Lord of DC right
It's
now.
true.
He is our Lord.
Our liege lord,
Yeah.
to whom we do pledge fealty.
Of course. You bend the knee. Of course.
Unequivocally.
Of course.
Yes, he is our Lord.
And honestly, James Gunn has been great to us.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's been great to work for. Peter Safran too. They've been great.
And now, and speaking of which, he's had at least a very passionate cosign for the My Adventures with Green Lantern series that's going to be coming out. What was his response to, hey, we're thinking about doing this? Like, what was the sort of pitch to get that across the line, or is it more just like signed, sealed, delivered, it's happening?
He greenlit it without further conversation.
Really?
We pitched him the show, and he fronted us the money. When I say that they've been great to work for, I mean that they asked for a spinoff, right? We sent them a love letter to Green Lantern and shoujo anime, and I expected there to be more conversations or like a pilot process, and he was like, "Great, here you go," and put us into production. Like put us
Full season order.
Yeah, right into production, which I was really grateful for. And then because we care about process, right? We were our production people, our line producer was able to kind of like structure us a kind of internal pilot process.
Mm-hmm.
And we ran stuff by DC Studios and Detective Comics, but they were really supportive, and so we kind of got through our own little pilot process that we built for ourselves, and then we had a show.
Oh, interesting. So you guys get Adventures with Men, you get Adventures with Green Lantern. Is there any other adventures that you guys would like to take us on throughout the DC universe?
Brendan, what adventures would you like to go on?
All of them. but like to answer it seriously, like none right now that are upcoming outside of those two.
Mm-hmm.
I think if this leads to something bigger, I think Jake and I are 100% game to go wherever that takes us, which of course doing the Trinity characters would rule. That's just the desire though.
Of course.
As well as, like Jake has a great idea for Teen Titans. That would be really fun. That I would love to just see.
Now we would love to hear anything.
I mean,
Teen Titans.
that could be potentially
What
related
that
to
mean? What that mean? What you talking about?
We had developed a take on the Teen Titans that was it didn't formally reprise the old 2003 show, but it was kind of like a spiritual successor with some of the original cast characters returning older, and then some new characters being introduced.
Okay.
And that would have been a lot of fun. We went with Lantern at the time that we were like looking at these options. Yeah, Brendan likes the Trinity. I like the weirdos. I'll tell you what, if we keep building out the Adventureverse, which would be really great, that would be so cool and so fun, and it's such a privilege to have done even what we're doing. We want to build it out in a way that flows more naturally from Clark and Jessica. Right?
Yeah.
So, because Jessica Cruz is going to be our Green Lantern. So, one of the reasons we went Green Lantern is in season 2, we'd already had Superman kind of like fight a simulated Lantern in
season 2, episode
6.
Oh yeah, time code as well. Like,
sorry,
give me a few minutes, I'll remember it.
Right? Yeah.
in Brainiac's arena. So we had that built in. And that guy, who had been designed by character artist Paul Reinwand and Elaine Bebayan, written by M. Willis, and then storyboarded by Grace Liu, like, I was so into that guy. I was like, what a weird take, like Kung Fu Shaolin take on a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of kept noodling at it. So I would like to extend our universe out from our existing characters, keep it grounded in the characters we have and what we revealed about them.
Hey, man, the Adventureverse is shaping up. You know what I'm saying? Jessica Cruz coming soon.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
She was in this season of My Very Sure Man. We saw the question she was asking Cara, and I was like, you guys can't fool me. I know what you're doing. you're planting the seeds. I see it. I can't wait.
Well, I'm glad you're excited.
No, it's been great. And it's been great talking to you guys at the con. Like, seriously, thank you guys so much for coming on. This is great. I love talking to you guys about how these things are made. It's been like an absolute joy to get to watch the show, and we can't wait to see more.
Thanks so much, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.